Detective Comics, issue 426. Batman plays a deadly game of killer's roulette. The elongated man solves a baffling new mystery. Trail of the fadeaway footprints. To Robin, Batgirl, Superman, and all those near and dear to me. Shortly I will take gun in hand and put an end to what has become a meaningless life, a life without honor. Signed, the Batman. To Robin, Batgirl, Superman, and all those near and dear to me. Shortly, I will take gun in hand and put an end to what has become a meaningless life, a life without honor. A last will and testament by the world's greatest detective, the Batman, a shameful end to a distinguished career. And yet, he cannot escape it as death spins the lethal killer's roulette. When Gotham's normal business day is long over, it is the time of the underworld moonlighters, prowlers of the night whose day is just beginning. And to a veteran cat burglar, most jobs are strictly routine. But this caper isn't. Nah, don't shoot, I ain't armed. Long moments of frozen apprehension, and then, when the gun wielder makes no sound, no move, well, I'll be. He can't shoot nobody no more. This guy's a stiff. Suicide. Now, why do guys so obviously loaded want to whom it may concern, being of sound mind, and holding no one but myself responsible for my death? I can't face life any longer. Huge gambling debts have wiped me out. Forgive me, Arnheim. Wouldn't you know, I picked on a deadbeat. Better split before. Suddenly, another creature of the night. Flashlights in dark rooms are just my meat, and you, creep, made my job easy. The Batman! But panic drives men to desperate acts, even a prowler who wouldn't be caught dead carrying a gun. Freeze! I'm warning you. Not according to type. He won't pull that trigger. Don't compound your felony. Drop it. An unsteady hand squeezes back on the trigger. The cylinder slowly turns. Has the Batman misjudged his opponent? Better yet, don't drop it. It might go off and hurt you. Hand it over. Stay put, I'm telling you. But blind, unreasoning fear wins out, and click, it's a dud. I'm through playing Russian roulette with you, pal. Next one might not be a misfire. What do you know? There was no second shot in the cylinder. Only one shell in this gun. And that's been fired. So his misfire was actually the firing pin striking an empty chamber. And there's the missing 5 bullets. Poor Arnheim. It's a sure bet he didn't need more than one to do the job. Strange, one of Gotham's most upstanding citizen, and he ends up like this. Go figure it. Gambling debts incurred by a man with no need for more money, while a lesser man with great need for bread almost ends up a murderer. Guess everybody has his own hidden drives, motivations, his secret thing. Later, at a precinct headquarters, sure an odd one, Batman. This latest suicide? Latest? Third in 3 days. 3 leading citizens, all dead by handgun, all leaving notes in their own handwriting. Arnheim was dead since early morning. The coroner confirmed, which is why our cat burglar entered a dark room. 3 in 3 days. Sheer coincidence or a pattern? Who are the others? Pursuing a gnawing suspicion that intuitive feel of the master crime fighter. Sergeant, let me see your files on Osborn and Merle. Sure thing, Batman, but those suicides are close outs. Not to me. Detail about Arnheim's death that didn't seem to bother the homicide squad bugs me. I was right. There's the same puzzler in all 3 photos. If you were the masked sleuth, would you be puzzled by what you see? It may be the vital clue to the most sinister crime of the century. Study it closely before you read below. A man bent on suicide would most likely use a fully loaded pistol, even though one bullet is all he needs, and most unlikely, unless he was sure he wouldn't miss, loaded with only one slug. But odd lots like 3 or 5, why? Doesn't make sense, even for a mad act like that. There's got to be one common denominator in the private lives of all three suicides. Speeding directly to the source, Gotham's fountainhead of gossip, where even the Batman's unusual appearance causes no stir among jaded cafe society celebs. Gingy baby, I want a line on some inside info, even if you don't find it fit to print. Oh, really, BM? You know there ain't no such animal. When Gingy digs dirt, she prints. He even dared about such respectable moneymen as the late Alan Osborne and Malcolm Merle. They were no nos, but definitely there are men you don't touch, and they were them, which makes them saints or sinners. Neither, just human like everybody, with weaknesses, obsessions, meaning being compulsive gamblers, obsessive about it. They both were. Gamblers. So was Arnheim, as he confessed in his suicide note. Thanks, Gingy. You've just given me my common denominator. Whatever that is. Never could keep my big mouth shut, which is what makes me the success I am. Shortly, only one place where the reputable citizens of Gotham can indulge their illegal whims. That offshore floating paradise for gamblers, Fortune Wheel. After a quick transformation, something tells me that gambling yacht is where I'll find the answer to this lethal riddle. All aboard, folks, and I spin the wheel that takes you to fortune. Soon, inside the lavish, glittering web that lures its willing victims. One thing for sure, nobody beats this system for long. But the Batman has his own system, for as long as I need to attract the attention I expect. Bed after bed is placed as the disguised manhunter uses his tremendous powers of calculation to outwit the spinning wheel. Red 31 wins. What is your pleasure, monsieur? Let it ride, all of it. The evening is still young. But perhaps for you, monsieur, it is old. The house limit for winnings is 100,000. You call this sport and limit my winnings? Why, you arrogant lackey, I've only begun to play. And I respectfully suggest, monsieur, you do it elsewhere. Sir, I know a game with no limits. I've been observing you. Huh? A man after my own heart, a true gambler. Permit me, Conway Treach, at your service. I'm Hazard, John T. Exactly what game have you in mind? A private game, a most challenging one, just between you, me, and a spinning cylinder of fate. You mean the most sublime gamble of all, the ultimate risk with the greatest reward, life itself, Russian roulette. So that's it, a game of death. Why else would all three suicides have had differing numbers of bullets in their guns? I've found my mystery player. But how does he always come out winner in a game of chance? I've circled the globe to find men of guts like you, the ultimate gambler. Shall we play at my place or yours? Since this is a rather noisy game, let's make it your place. My wife is a light sleeper. Back on shore, the disguised Batman is driven in Treach's car to a remote roadside motel. I always reserve this cabin when I'm in Gotham. Hazard, it has the advantage of being both isolated and soundproof, and quite a distance out of town. What happens if you win? Ha! I'll will you my car. In the suicide notes we both shall write. for mutual protection, of course. Of course. That answers the note puzzle. The winner picks up his own confession and leaves end of trail. That's eminently fair, Treach. Only one remaining problem. I never carry a gun. No problem. If you don't object, we can use mine. Wouldn't blame you if you had doubts. Go ahead, test it. I'm not too handy with these things. You don't have to be, not when you've got it aimed at your own head, point blank range. Satisfied? No tricks up my sleeve. We both have an equal chance to win or lose. Now, the rules of the game. 6 live rounds, but we start with only one in the cylinder. We spin it and swing it shut. Now, we have 5 empty chambers, one loaded. But we don't know where, right? So when we pull the trigger, it's 5-1 against the hot one coming up. And if we both look out the first one, we up the ante and add another bullet, which narrows the odds and increases the winnings. And that fills in all the holes. Our 3 suicides were suckered into this rigged con game, with Arnheim being the unluckiest one. He never made it past the first try. But before we start, one essential first, our written suicide notes. Naturally, and I can't wait to see your confession, Treach. Confession? That's not exactly what I'd call it. Huh? The Batman, here. Your partner in Hazard, remember? And that's exactly what you will write, Treach. Sign confession to the rigged suicides of Osborne, Merle, and Arnheim. Confess, or will you bet the live one won't come up first? No, no, please, don't. Only a fool would take odds like that. All right, but you can't make this stand up at court. Without right to counsel. A forced confession under duress? Again, want to bet? However, I'll match yours with my suicide note, winner take all. You've got to be kidding. You really want to go through with this? Why not? I'd like to test your sporting blood and guts, if you have any. Play the game. And just to keep you honest, you go first. Remember, sport, the winner walks away with your confession and my suicide note. Go. Click. Your turn, Batman. Spin it. Odds are still 5-1, sport. Now let's see your guts. Click. Shall we try for 2? You want to continue, Batman? You're sure a sucker for punishment. No, you are, Treach. 2 bullets now, and it's your turn again. Click, click, click. Split seconds of destiny become an endless, whirling eternity as each man spins his way through the dwindling cartridge supply on the table. And then eternity runs out. It can't be. No one man can be that lucky. No luckier than you. Now the odds are even for a kill, and it's your turn, Treach. My turn? With a fully loaded gun? What kind of sucker do you think I am? No more than you've been all along, Treach. You only play sure things. I got on to you when you fired that first shot at your own head, safely, seen in that mirror behind you. I saw how your thumb pressed in that trick cylinder latch, blocking the firing pin when it fell. So you couldn't lose, and neither could I. Once I knew your trick. Game's over, Treach. For you, Batman. Remember, my test shot? This gun can be fired. Like now. Yours wasn't the only ace up a sleeve, gambler. True, you were right about your confession. It would have been useless in court. But a torn wad of it jammed in when I loaded the last bullet prevented you from firing just now. What I really needed to convict you was the secret of this trick concealed mechanism. The end. No, dear reader, your eyes do not deceive you. You are indeed watching Sue Dibney, wife of the celebrated elongated man, float over the blistering Mojave Desert. Or is she? See anything yet, honey? Nothing but gophers and tumbleweed, Ralph. For on closer scrutinization, we discover the lovely lady actually has a most unique means of support. Ralph Dibney, the stretchable sleuth himself. Ralph, wait, I do see something. It's just as I figured, honey. It's a mirage, an illusion. There's nothing really there. Nothing, Ralph? Then please explain that. A dripping wet frogman in the middle of the desert? Impossible to explain, you say. Perhaps. But don't let Ralph Dibney hear you say it. That gaudily garbed gentleman is the elongated man, and he's devoted his life to solving the world's strangest mysteries. Match wits with the ductile detective as he follows the treacherous trail of the fadeaway footprints. Hey, that guy's hurt. He needs help, fast. Carefully, the stretchable sleuth examines the stricken aquanaut and discovers blood. He's been shot. By whom? There's nobody around, far as the eye can see. He's still wet, Ralph, but how? Unless he swam across that mirage. Betsy, is he dead? There's nothing more we can do for him, except cover him up to keep away scavengers and try to find the authorities. Minutes later, Ralph, the word he muttered before he died, Betsy, what could it mean? How should I know? His wife or girlfriend, maybe? Do you realize, Ralph, if we hadn't run out of gas in the middle of nowhere, that poor man would have never been found? Please, sweetheart, I'm trying to concentrate. If we can follow the frogman's tracks back to where they start, rats, the tracks fade away, covered by the shifting sand. We're having a tapeworm's chance of following them now. Guess we'd better just travel in the general direction and hope we stumble across something. The desert passes swiftly beneath elongated feet, and a short while later, Ralph, I'm seeing things again. Not this time, doll. We've found an honest to sagebrush ghost town. This place looks like a leftover from an old John Wayne western. Even the tumbleweed has cobwebs. Hey, the water pump still works. I wonder why people deserted this town if it wasn't. Never mind, I figured it out. Fish in their drinking water. Ugh. Okay, yeah, whippersnappers. What you doing in my town? Your town? Who the devil are you? Name's Amos Fitch. I prospect hereabouts. Been living in these old ruins for months now. And I don't take kindly to claim jumpers. My friend, we're no claim jumpers. I'm Ralph Dibney, the elongated man, and this is my wife, Sue. The elongated man? Yeah, I heard tell of you. You're an honest Jasper, all right. What brings you here? We had some trouble a few miles outside of town. A man was killed. We hope to find a telephone here, but I have the feeling we're out of luck. I'll say you are. The nearest phone's in Yucca Falls, 20 miles south of here. Thanks, Amos. That's where we'll head. By the way, you see any frogmen around here lately? Any what? Ralph, take a look at this. What is it, sweetheart? Betsy, it's the name of a Jeep. I'm truly sorry you happen to notice that, friends. It forces me to eliminate you. Your accent. Only a ruse, sweetheart. What happened to it? To delude fools like yourself into taking me far less seriously than they should. I suppose that's the rifle you shot the frogman with. Indeed it is. The same rifle that will now kill you. Ah, blast. We'll learn nothing from him for a while. He's out colder than that fish in the water trough. Hey, wait a minute. I've got something. So I see. Your mystery scenting nose is twitching like a tuning fork. If you don't tell me what you're thinking, I'll scream. This little fish, something's been bothering me about it, and I just figured out what. The fish has no eyes. Hmm. Certain cave dwelling species lose their eyes because they live in eternal darkness. Yep, I think I know where that frogman came from. See you in a minute or two, honey. Hang on to my ankles, Sue, while I check it out. I'd hate to be wrong and find myself stuck in that pipe. Amos should be back by now. How long does it take to knock off one lousy frogman? Take it easy, Roscoe. He'll be back in plenty of time to help with this load. Wow, didn't think a fortune in stolen radium would be so blamed heavy. I'll never understand how Pete managed to get that load here. Yeah, all the trouble we went through to steal this stuff, and Pete had to double cross us, snatch the whole bundle for himself. The lunkhead never figured we'd catch up to him, force him to tell us what he did with it. Had to make it difficult for us. Had to dump the radium in this underground lake beneath his own hometown. Hey, I think the haul's coming, gang. It's coming. Correction, pal, it's come. Too bad Amos had to kill the frogman diver, but he knew too much for his own good. Thank you, gentlemen. Your confession will be on the front page of tomorrow's papers. Graves, a sea serpent. Sea serpents don't talk, you sap. That's the elongated man. Plug him. He can't duck all our hot lead. Wanna bet, Bright Eyes? Thing is, that thug may be right. She was still hanging on to my ankles, and I can't pull loose. That leaves me only half my stretching power, but if I stretch my luck, half is all I'll need. Hey, that guy's as big a crook as we are. He's stealing our loot. Right, fellas, you keep thinking that for about 2 more seconds, and you won't have to think about anything for a while. Green Arrow couldn't have scored better himself. And after the malleable manhunter discovers an exit from the hidden cavern, everything in order up here, sweetheart? Ralph, where in heaven's name have you been? When you wriggled out of your boots, I almost had a heart failure. Baby, it's a long story. And when the long story has been told, I still don't understand, Ralph. Why didn't you stretch out of your boots during the fight? Sue, honey, I would think it was obvious. This is a western ghost town, right? Well, if things had gone wrong down there, I wanted to die with my boots on. The end.